Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today we have a science fiction horror story for you. So buckle up and let's get started. In the cold expanse of deep space, the starship, the Starfire, cuts through the darkness like a beacon of hope. On board, Captain Rayna Carter and her crew are engaged in their routine duties, charting the unknown and searching for signs of life beyond their own. Suddenly, amidst the hum of the ship's engines and the soft glow of the control panels, a chilling sound pierces the air. It's the unmistakable chime of an incoming transmission. As Captain Carter's eyes narrow in focus, she sees the words "distressed signal" flash across the screen. Her gaze intensifies as she reads the message. The signal seems to be coming from an extremely remote location, far beyond the known territories of any civilization. And as if to make the mystery even more perplexing, the coordinates point towards an uncharted sector of space. Despite the risks, Captain Carter feels compelled to investigate. There's something about this distress call that resonates with her, a sense of urgency that she cannot ignore. With a determined nod, she gives the order to change course and head towards the unknown. As the Starfire approaches the coordinates of the distress signal, the crew prepares for what could be a routine rescue mission or something more sinister. Little do they know that they are about to stumble upon a terrifying secret that has been hidden in the depths of space for half a century. A few minutes later, as the Starfire draws closer to the source of the distress signal, the crew's anticipation builds. On the view screen they see the faint outline of a massive spaceship, its hull battered and scarred, drifting aimlessly near a massive black hole. It's clear that this is no ordinary spacecraft. This is the SS Andromeda, a legendary ship that vanished 50 years ago during a routine exploration mission. Its disappearance remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in space exploration history. And now the Starfire is approaching it. With a mix of curiosity and trepidation, Captain Carter and her crew cautiously maneuver the Starfire alongside the derelict Andromeda. As they prepare to dock, questions and theories run rampant among the crew. What happened to the Andromeda and its crew? Why did it send out a distressed signal after all these years? And what secrets does it hold? As the Starfire docks with the Andromeda, the crew prepares to board the derelict ship. The atmosphere is thick with anticipation and a sense of the unknown. With a mix of excitement and trepidation, the crew steps onto the deck of the abandoned Andromeda. As they explore the ship, they uncover clues about its mysterious fate. Inside the ship, the crew discovers a horrifying sight. Everything is dark and lifeless. There's no sign of life anywhere. All the systems are down and the ship is completely deserted. But there's something else that sends a chill down their spines. The ship's logs indicate that just days ago, someone was alive on board. This raises more questions than answers. Where are the crew? What happened to them? And why was someone on board the ship after all these years? As they venture deeper into the ship, the crew notices signs of a struggle. Equipment is knocked over, tools are strewn across the floor, and personal belongings are scattered as if the crew had abandoned the ship in a hurry. The crew's unease grows as they realize that they are not alone. Someone or something is watching them from the shadows. In the eerie silence of the abandoned ship, the crew hears a noise that makes their blood run cold. It's a whisper, barely audible, yet filled with an otherworldly presence. As they try to locate the source of the whisper, the crew finds themselves drawn deeper into the ship's labyrinthine corridors. On the view screen, Captain Carter sees the ghostly outline of a person standing in the shadows. The figure seems to be watching them, its eyes glowing ominously in the darkness. Just as quickly as it appeared, the figure disappears. Is it a hallucination brought on by the stress of the mission, or something more sinister at play? As the crew explores further, they find half-eaten meals, personal belongings, and scattered equipment. It's clear that the Andromeda's crew were not prepared for whatever they encountered on the ship. Their fear and desperation palpable in the disarray left behind. Deep in the ship's bowels, the crew discovers a series of strange symbols carved into the walls. At first, they seem indecipherable, but as they examine them closer, they begin to take on a disturbing meaning. The symbols depict terrifying creatures with tentacles and sharp teeth, seemingly ripped straight from a nightmare. As the crew pieces together the clues, they realize that the Andromeda's disappearance was no accident. The ship was quarantined for a reason. But why? What was so dangerous that it required such extreme measures? As the crew tries to piece together the mystery of the Andromeda, they inadvertently trigger a trap, setting the ship's alarm system into overdrive. Sirens blare, red lights flash, and the crew is trapped in a maze of their own fear. They must navigate through the ship's treacherous corridors, while avoiding whatever danger lies in wait for them. But as they race against time to find the source of the signal, they realize that they are being something on board the ship wants them gone. In the midst of the chaos, Captain Carter and Engineer Dax discover a hidden compartment containing the ship's maintenance logs. As they decipher the cryptic entries, they realize the horrifying truth. The symbols they found earlier are not just decorations. They are warnings, a desperate attempt by the Andromeda's crew to document the horrors they faced. But before they can fully comprehend the message, the ship lurches violently, throwing them off balance. The alarms blare incessantly, creating an atmosphere of dread and uncertainty. The crew's worst fears are confirmed when they find their colleagues missing. Some have vanished without a trace, leaving behind only their abandoned equipment and a sense of impending doom. Others have met a gruesome fate, their bodies contorted in ways that suggest unimaginable suffering. As the situation spirals out of control, Captain Carter realizes that they are trapped in a nightmare from which there may be no escape. The ship is not just haunted by the ghosts of its former crew, it is inhabited by something sinister and malevolent that feeds on their memories and takes on their identities. With each passing moment, the entity grows stronger, preying on the crew's deepest fears and exploiting their vulnerabilities. As the entity begins to consume the crew's identities, it takes on their physical forms, mimicking their mannerisms and voices. It taunts them, playing on their emotions and driving them to the brink of madness. The creature reveals its true form, a shapeless, ever-shifting mass that seems to devour the very essence of its victims. It is a parasitic entity that feeds on memories, taking on the identities and appearances of those it consumes. In a desperate attempt to escape the ship, some crew members try to flee into space, only to vanish into the unforgiving vacuum. Others barricade themselves into compartments, hoping to hide from the creature, but it seems to be everywhere at once. As the situation becomes increasingly dire, Captain Carter and a small group of survivors find a way to access the ship's communication system. With seconds to spare, they send out a distress call, hoping for a rescue that may never come. In the face of certain doom, Captain Carter and the remaining crew members make a final stand. They fight back against the creature, using every weapon at their disposal. But the creature seems invincible, shrugging off their attacks and growing stronger with each blow. As the creature closes in on its final victim, Captain Carter, it taunts her, whispering in her ear, "You can't escape yourself." In a final act of defiance, Captain Carter activates the Andromeda, knowing that she may not survive the explosion. She hopes that by destroying the ship, she can also destroy the creature and put an end to its reign of terror. As the Andromeda explodes, the creature's form is thrown into the void of space. For a moment, it seems as though it has been defeated, but then it begins to reform, taking on the shape of Captain Carter herself. With a twisted grin on its face, it drifts away into the darkness, leaving behind only the echoes of its evil laughter. The screen fades to black as the explosion rocks the Andromeda. The final transmission from Captain Carter plays. "If you hear this, do not board the ship. Do not answer the signal. It already knows you're here." So that's it for today's story. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the story. Thank you for listening.